The monitor flatlined at 3:15 a.m. on March 17th of last year. The disease that killed my sister is as insidious as it is misunderstood. It warps perception, feeds off shame, thrives in isolation, and tears families apart. Every 50 minutes in America, it claims another life. It's a disease that convinces those who have it that they're alone, unworthy of help, and undeserving of love. Every year, it kills more people than depression or addiction. And yet, despite its staggering cost to individuals, to families, and to society at large, it receives less than 1% of NIH mental health funding. So, what killed my sister? Anorexia. Or perhaps it's more accurate to say that my sister, Laura, died as a result of her suffering from the medical condition known as anorexia nervosa. Her heart atrophied due to lack of nutrition until it could no longer pump enough blood to sustain her. There was nothing but love in that room when she passed, and yet the eating disorder had taken its toll on all of us. The sheer heartbreak that one feels in the face of so baffling of an illness is indescribable. You would do anything for your loved one. You are doing everything you can, and yet nothing you do can stop the relentless march of anorexia as it steals everything you hold dear. Before anorexia took my sister's body, it took her mind. Before it stole her mind, it stole her joy. Laura was a happy child. Neurotic at times, sure, but a happy child, a happy teenager, and at times a happy adult. She earned a scholarship to Duke for undergrad and attended med school at Johns Hopkins. She was smart, talented, determined, but no amount of achievement can outrun pain, and anorexia nervosa respects neither resumes nor reputations. And my sister's story is not the exception. It's part of a larger tapestry of suffering. Because eating disorders don't exist in a vacuum. They thrive in pain, in trauma, in the search for control. For many, eating disorders aren't just about body image. They're about reclaiming power. Survivors of sexual assault whose sense of agency and safety has been stolen, and they experience control over their bodies as the only power they have left. And studies show that at least 30% of people with eating disorders have experienced sexual assault. And my sister's story, though deeply personal, is a part of this larger and too often unspoken reality. It's a reality that leaves even experts struggling to provide answers. Theories abound, but consensus is elusive. And in the absence of a clear path forward, families like mine are left grasping in the dark. One hospital's treatment recommendations often directly contradicted another's. It seemed like there were as many opinions as there were people. We see public opinion swinging to wild extremes over issues like guardianship, involuntary commitment, force-feeding knowledge about weight and calories and more. The one consistent theme seems to be the helplessness that most family members feel. I know I felt helpless. When my sister called me minutes before I was boarding a plane to go to grad school interviews in California and told me that she wanted to die, that she was actively suicidal, I had no idea what to do. Do I report her? If so, to whom and how will I know when I've done that I've ever done enough, whatever that means? The truth is, I may never know. Even the New York Times recently asked a haunting question. Should anorexia patients be allowed to die? Should we as a society just accept or even condone that some cases, that some people are hopeless? The fact that we are even asking this question is a disgrace. It doesn't have to be this way. It shouldn't be this way. But anorexia is paradoxical. That which leaves its victims so weak is itself so strong. But we can be strong too. We are strong. I believe we are stronger. And if we join together in harmonious action with a unified purpose, we can end some of the worst suffering caused by this disease in our lifetimes. So what are we up against? What stands in our way? Why is anorexia so hard to fight? It's because it's a disorder that thrives in the dark. It's a mental illness that preys on secrecy and shame. It blooms under the perverse grow light of guilt and convinces its victims that they are alone, that no one understands, that it will be this way forever. That is a lie. I know because I've experienced something similar. Alcoholism and addiction dominated my life for over a decade. Eventually, I lost my sense of self. But in the back of my mind, I knew there was hope. Why? Because I had seen others recover. My sister didn't have that hope. She felt alone. That's the difference. I had a roadmap. She didn't. The more we talk about recovery, the more people will know it's possible. We have to share, but right now, we are failing. For too long, this illness has been ignored. Anorexia is the deadliest mental illness, yet we treat it like an afterthought. It receives less than 1% of NIH mental health funding, less than 1%. Compare that to addiction. The NIH allocates nearly 20 times more funding to substance use disorders. And don't get me wrong, addiction funding is critical. I would not be here without it. But if my sister had been addicted to alcohol or opiates, there would have been a clear treatment path, structured programs, evidence-backed interventions. But right now for anorexia, the medical community debates what recovery even looks like. This is unacceptable. It is deadly. It does not have to be this way. But awareness alone is not enough. Change, real change, requires action. To break the cycle, we have to do 3 things. First, speak up. Break the silence. Talk about eating disorders openly, because stigma and secrecy make recovery harder, and silence enables suffering. 2, stand up. Demand solutions. Push for better research, funding, and policies. Do not settle for anything less than consistent, standardized, effective care, universal access to treatment, and a comprehensive, fully funded research effort. 3, show up. Support recovery. Whether it's a friend, a family member, or a stranger, let them know that they are not alone. Because the opposite of addiction is connection, and community is a powerful force in recovery. Holding space, simply being there for someone else, present, without judging, can save a life. Anorexia should not be a death sentence, but right now, it too often is, not because we lack the ability to help, but because we have failed to prioritize it. We have looked away. We have told ourselves that it's complicated, but it's someone else's problem, that it's tragic, but it is inevitable. That ends now, because now you know. Now you know that anorexia is the deadliest mental illness. Now you know that it thrives in secrecy and silence, and that silence is a choice. Now you know that treatment is inconsistent. Now you know that research is underfunded, not because it has to be, but because we have failed to demand more. And now that you know, you cannot unknow. So speak up. Because your voice carries farther than you think. Stand up, because action does not begin with someone else. Show up, because your presence here today could be what keeps someone else here tomorrow. The monitor flatlined at 3:15 a.m., but it didn't have to. It's too late for my sister, but it is not too late for the thousands upon thousands still fighting. They deserve better. They deserve the same chance that I had. And if we refuse to look away, if we speak louder, demand more, and show up for those suffering, then maybe one day this talk won't need to be given at all. Thank you.